Hey, bro.
Hey everyone.
You can talk now, bro. You was in the main channel. I don't know if you saw it. You probably didn't see it yet.
I've been on the main channel, and no, I
Wait,
haven't seen it.
he's been on the main channel, but he
Been on
just,
that bitch for years. Am I
yeah.
allowed to curse?
Yeah, second channel. I guess you could do whatever you want, bro.
Yeah, I've been on that damn channel.
So this is my freaking dog, man. This is like, yeah, like I've tried to get rid of him and I just can't type of friend. So, but we live two very different types of lives. Like you probably very first helped me film a video in like 2018, 2017.
Nah. The first video I remember filming was the obstacle course video at Bethany Park with me, you,
I think that was our first
Alex, and
video.
Osabi.
I
Pretty
think
sure
that
that
was
was
our
the first video.
yeah. I think that was the first video. When was that? When do you think that was?
That would have been before the switch over into 18, so our freshman year. I think that's September of 2017.
So 2017 was the first time he around that time he helped me film a video, and then no, but back to the point. I was just introducing. This is Zane. This is my freaking dog. But we live very opposite lives. But it's literally like my brother. Like my mom feels like his mom, and my mom he feels like my mom's son in a way sometimes. So we're very very close, but it's weird because we have very very different lives, and so we randomly talk about it sometimes, kind of like a debate on which is harder, because obviously. So for example, I guess you could do an introduction of what you do for a living because they don't even know. I'm just saying.
I work a 9 to 5. Trigger warning. I work at Jaysler.
Yep.
I work like probably closer to like 50 hours a week, if somewhere around there, with overtime every week or so. But yeah, no, I sell phones. I'm a phone salesman. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I always have enjoyed the thought of like doing a creative job, and like obviously having him as a friend, and a couple of our other friends are pretty big on TikTok. Having them as friends, it's hard to not want to do this as a job or do what he does as a job. But from a younger age, I was kind of forced to work. So I kind of got roped into the system, and now here I am, still in the system. So
Yeah. So you're a phone salesman. What's all the jobs you've done?
shit.
Just like basic title so that it doesn't take.
Detasseler, um, car wash technician, restaurant host. I worked at Walmart. I did telesales for a while. Um,
Cookies.
I was a delivery driver, and now I'm a phone salesman. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's done quite a bit in the workforce, and I have done very little in the workforce. I worked at Burger King for like 2 shifts, maybe 1.5 shifts, and then and then I worked at a trampoline park. Oh yeah. Then I worked at a trampoline park. That actually was a pretty fun job. That I actually did kind of enjoy that. And then I also worked when not as a car wash person with him at the same time at one point actually. So that's the only 3 jobs that I've had, and really Burger King doesn't count. So I've really had trampoline park and then a car wash, and they were both really chill jobs. But I just the whole time I was there, I'd be recording videos. So
Yeah.
Sid, freak it, dude. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Well, that's a little introduction. But I kind of wanted to give like a lot of kids want to do what I do. Obviously, a lot of kids watch what I do.
A lot of people
A lot
want
of
to do
people in general
what you
want
want
to
to do.
see what I do and want to do it. It's not.
You think it's harder than people imagine.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a lot harder than you think it is. Not like you, but you, like everybody. Like I think it's a lot harder than people imagine. And but at the same time, then people are like, why wouldn't you just get a regular job then if it's easier? That's where it comes in. That's where
Yeah.
it's just I just can't do it.
I'll be the first to vouch that it is definitely, there's a lot more that goes into it than the regular person would think. And if you are somebody who doesn't have somebody who we'll put it in layman's terms as simple as possible. Has a friend who is famous on some, social media platform in some way, shape, or form, and you have no experience with like, somebody like that, you would probably think that it's a very easy job. All you do is record videos, post, and then boom, all the money comes in. It's definitely not
Yeah.
that easy.
Yeah.
And one thing that is obviously harder, like everyone thinks that they have, you know, every creator always will be like, I did it, you can too, right? You
Yeah.
make it seem like it's possible for absolutely everyone. I disagree. I
Okay.
I don't think it's possible for everyone. You have to have a creative knack about you. You have to have a drive with that creative knack. You have to want to actually do it.
Yeah.
And because social media can be an optional thing, it's hard for people to get out of optional into required,
Yeah. Yeah.
is the thing. So I will be the first to vouch that it is a lot harder than it seems because I have tried it on multiple occasions. So
Yeah. He's yeah. You've given it a couple good whirls. You've given it a
whirls.
couple good whirls. And what was your like biggest? What was your most? Well, actually, you've done it a couple of times. Was that only one time you like took off specific days at
Yeah.
the delivery company? He had Mondays,
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Mondays
Mondays
off, and you
off.
said
Surprised you remember that.
those are gonna be your content days.
Yeah.
I don't.
For probably about 3 months straight, I took Mondays off and I was only working 4 days a week. And I used that Monday to record 7 TikToks to post for 7 days.
Yeah.
And, during that 3 month span, I never really had a video that like did super well. I think I had one video get like 60K views, which like for me, I guess is great. But like
Yeah.
it was also a video that I wouldn't have gone anywhere with had it gotten a bunch of views.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there was a time before where no, actually, that was actually during the span of Tampon Guy.
Yeah. I remember
Tampon
that.
Guy,
Yeah.
yeah. My tampon video did pretty well. Pop it up on the screen.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm editing this, so it's either there or it's not. If
Yeah,
it's not there, just imagine it.
just imagine my
Just
tampon
imagine him
video.
dressed up as a tampon.
Yep. But you said what was the hardest thing about? That's where you
Well,
were going.
I get. Oh, that'd be a better topic. I was just gonna say like, cause you now the most recent thing was like music, or if you're still doing that.
That's really all I care about.
Now it's a big music phase, but I was gonna say you're most like consistent. But I guess yeah. What was the biggest challenge you ran into as someone just just trying to do it rather than like, my brain? It's just I have to do it.
So I feel like the difference is that you had the opportunity to not have to have a job and be
Yeah.
able to do it as your sole thing,
Yeah.
right? For me, I've always had to keep a job despite what I wanted. I don't want to have a job. No one wants to have a job, but you kind of have to at some times,
Yeah.
Obviously if you need it, you need it. But um I would like you hear the stories of people who are like, I worked full time or I worked 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, and I still found time to make content because that's what I truly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like for me, I must not have enjoyed what I was trying to make enough
Yeah.
for me to find it worth me putting any time and effort into it while also working a job. Because if it was one of those things where I just had nothing but time on my hands, it'd be a no-brainer. I would be constantly streaming or like trying to think of video stuff, or
Yeah.
I'd be constantly doing that if I didn't have to have something else consistently on my mind.
Yeah.
But one argument that people who do social media always have is like, when you leave work, you get to not be at work.
Yeah.
That's not the case for me.
Yeah.
I'm a salesman. If one of my customers comes back and they're like, I want to buy this super good transaction that I wanted to obviously sell, sometimes I'm going in on my day off for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to get whatever transaction done, and then I leave and I use part of my day off to go and work. Or like I get a call from my boss like, hey, there's an issue, do you remember anything about this, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So in my specific scenario, that argument does not work on me.
Okay.
Because I do have those moments where I and working outside of being paid,
Bro.
technically. Definitely the hardest thing was just obviously staying motivated when you have other obligations, because I feel like that's the main stopper. I'm 22 years old, you know, have always known that I want to do some sort of creative something, whether that was videos, music, streaming, whatever other avenues I've gone down in the past. And it's just a matter of like wanting it, I guess. Like if I could, go off of like, I'm okay with not sleeping
Yeah.
as much as I sleep to be able to have the time to do that. Right now, I'm not okay with doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, it's different when you have an actual like income. Like trying something right now as you're working a full-time job and trying to put a lot of time into something that's not paying you at all. It's easy to just go do what's paying you.
Yeah.
That's something I think of. So I mean, I started making videos at 13. And so you really don't like get into that full like job mode until like, I mean, for some people it's 16. Some people it's earlier with the whole tasseling thing. I never did the tasseling because my asthma was a lot worse at that time. I don't even consider myself having asthma anymore. I grew out of it. The doctor always said I would do it. If you have asthma and you're younger, and the doctor's saying you can grow out of it, it's a thing. I didn't believe it, but I wouldn't even say I have asthma now. But at that time, asthma and allergies and all that, there's no way I was going to go out in a field full of dust and just be fine. And so for me, I really didn't, like worry about getting a job till like 17-ish. And so that's a full like 4 years that I just took to learn how to do social media. And so that's the difference between a lot of people is obviously you try now when you're 22, or you try now when even you're 25, or, you're older. So it's hard to like just pick it up and learn it. For me, it's literally like all I know. Like, yeah, you have memories from being like 8, 9, 10 years old. But like solid core memories, I've always been recording Call of Duty videos. It's some type of recording something. It's literally all I know. So literally the opposite of you. You've been working since I've been making videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always done videos, because there's been like, you could go back. You used to be able to go back on my YouTube channel
Oh,
and
man.
and be able to see that I was doing like 2K live streams on 2K16,
Yeah.
on 2K17. And like, that's 9 years ago I was live streaming, and like I used to actually pull consistent viewers. I was like pretty down with it, and then my channel got like terminated, or like, so I don't know what happened. I forget what happened, but that was my first give up.
Ever since then, you say, yeah, I'm not doing this again.
That was my first give up.
Not doing this again.
But I don't know. It's a lot harder to justify.
You can answer that.
Nah. She'll understand. It's a lot harder to justify switching your kind of, I don't want to call it like a job, but switching your focus from a job over to, social media and all that, when it's all technically all it's the same thing for you. Like, let's say all of this just crashed and burned, your TikTok got deleted, your YouTube got deleted.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be thinking like, oh, now I need to go get a job. You'd be thinking, how do I rebuild another?
Yeah.
How do I rebuild? Hey.
Rebuilding wardrobe.
Um,
See how cold my hand. I'm freezing.
Yeah, you must be freezing.
I am so cold.
But
are you not cold?
No, I'm good.
I'm so cold.
My ankles are a little cold. But you wouldn't be thinking like, okay, it's time to go get a job.
Yeah.
You'd be thinking, how do I make a new channel? How do I make a new TikTok to build something else, right? So it's one of those things where making the switch is a lot harder, and I feel like it's a lot more possible than I thought it was. I'll give it a little bit of credit. It's not as hard as I thought it would be. Like learning an instrument, for example. Like, I learned an instrument at 20 years old, and now I'd say I'm pretty intermediate at that instrument, and learning new stuff comes a lot easier once you know the basics, right? And it's the same as you've
Yeah.
consistently studied algorithms and how is this video doing well? How is this, like I obviously know a lot about the social media thing because I was like, there's times where you'll ask me for help on something or like
Yeah.
advice on something, and I obviously know a little bit about what I'm doing, but it's not one of those things where it's like, yeah, I like you couldn't walk into a job and be like, this is what a 401k means.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so 401k is, I mean, that's money that you save. That's money that gets put away. Actually, a lot
A
of people,
401k match, I should say.
oh, because I know what a 401k is. A 401k match,
Yeah.
that's where you lose me.
Yeah, it's like a company match. So I'm not going to go into that, but basically my point in saying that is,
I could
the
say
same
things.
the same way that you
Yeah.
could be like, yeah, I like you couldn't come over and just like pick up Adobe Premiere and just
Yeah, like edit
be
something.
the goat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The same as you coming over to my job and being like, yeah, I can sell $1,000 worth of phones in a day,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's same flip flopped. It's two very different aspects, but it is a lot easier than I thought it would be. Like for example, learning an instrument again. Like if learning an instrument is rated as like one of the hardest things that you can do as an adult, next to like learning a language, but
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like if you can learn something that tough, it's not impossible for you to learn something like that.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
it's one of those where it's like, I don't know. It's tough to do strictly off of like,
No money.
yeah. I mean, like if that's literally your only means of doing anything, and like you don't care about making money, like
That's what's, we'll keep it a buck. That's the hardest part.
yeah,
You're putting
you're putting
you're
a
putting
lot
full
of
time
effort.
you're putting full time job hours into something that you're not getting paid off of for multiple years. Sometimes it's shorter for people, sometimes it's longer for people, but I'd say at least most people are going to go a solid year of like putting in lots of hours and not getting paid from it, and that's something that's really hard to get yourself to do, especially nowadays where everything's so expensive.
Yeah,
um, it's pretty hard to put a lot of time into something. And then that's when people, have a job, and then outside the job, they try to, yeah. And then that's when you get all jumbled up. I actually heard Mr. Beast say something very similar, and not to like, I don't know, I don't want to be weird, but I watched him talk about something. It sounded a lot like me. it sounded a lot like my situation. He was just saying like he's just blessed that he started doing it young. Like once you, because if I didn't start doing it young, it's the same thing where you start doing it older on or later on when you're older, and you're even like 18. That's when like jobs start getting pushed more. Like maybe you should get a job type of thing. I'm just so grateful that I started it so early when I wasn't being forced to get a job, or it wasn't like a thing to look at me and be like, why doesn't he have a job? And it was normal for me to be holding back your
yeah,
yawn.
yeah, yep.
It was normal. It was normal for me to just be at home all day and be a kid or whatever, but doing videos and stuff. So, but that's what he was saying. And I agree. I'm very grateful that I just wanted to do it so early on, and
Yeah.
I don't have a specific reason I started so early.
Just gravitated.
It's just what God's plan was. I guess I literally don't know. I tell this story all the time. I don't have a specific thing that got me to start when I was 13 or 14, however old I was. There was
Yeah,
nothing that, like, I didn't have someone around me doing it.
I think you just got gravitated towards it.
It,
Like you got one single sniff of it and then
yeah,
just went to it. But
it just kind of happened. And that's what he was saying. And then he also compared how it's all, obviously now, but even before, like, it's just all he thinks about. And when I tell you, I'll be laying down, even like, you get in your bed, you scroll for a little bit, and then you shut your phone off. When I'm laying there with my eyes closed, to that, for all day up until that point when I'm laying there with my eyes closed, actually trying to fall asleep, I'm still thinking about what videos I'm doing tomorrow, what thumbnail I could make, or what different tweaks or different ways I could do different things. every moment that I think every moment I'm awake, I'm thinking about videos or some type of
And that's
thing.
I think that's one thing about you specifically is that you're so jumbled up and the space in your brain is so filled up with that one thing
Yeah.
that it has no space for like anything else.
Nothing.
And so it's like, it's easy for you to forget when you had plans a week out, and that's why you do stuff spontaneously.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, obviously it's hard for you to forget a trip, but even then, like normal people will plan a trip
we have this conversation a lot.
at least 6 months in advance. They'll plan that they're going to be going, and you can't fathom anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's like the fact that I was able to keep up with going on. I just
Yeah.
smacked the mic. The fact that I was able to keep up with a full-time job
Yeah,
with like those I consistently was having jobs that would just allow me to leave at like a week's notice.
Yeah.
And I was also not in any sort of like financial responsibility with like paying for a car,
Yeah.
paying for an apartment,
That's
keeping a
also-
dog alive.
That's another thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like having those obligations and making sure that those obligations are taken care of is now also a problem in the long run.
Yeah. Once you, yeah. But
Because
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
It just makes it more difficult for sure.
But it's one of those things where like obviously you're going to end up moving away eventually, and then we've always had discussions about, right before we started this, we've always had discussions about like me joining your team in some way, shape, or form and like doing something for you, right?
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, me personally, like, yeah, it would be great to follow you around and do what EJ's doing all the time, and what you're doing. Most likely, I'm going to enjoy doing it too.
Yeah.
But on the other aspect of it, I would really enjoy like having my own thing and being able to go with you, not like go for you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Whatever.
mean? So that would be that's the one tough thing is like being a part of something. I feel like after like half a decade of me doing that or something, like I'd probably get pretty tired of it after a
Yeah.
while. It'd almost be one of those things. Like I don't know if it'd be enough for me to like go back to a normal job, but
Yeah.
it would definitely make it so that it's one of those things where I would be like, all right, it's time to start focusing on my own thing
Yeah.
up like on the side kind of thing.
So, I mean, we're like 23 minutes into this recording. I shouldn't have addressed that. No, this is just awkward. I just broke the fourth dimension,
Fourth wall.
the fourth wall. Anyways, we're gonna move on from it like it didn't happen. So, I mean, it gets brought up every once in a while. So I want to have like an actual debate on this, like a little actual debate section. Right now, we've just been like damn near still an introduction at this point. I mean, it's still kind of just showing,
Just discussing the differences.
yeah, discussing differences, but not like debating anything, just talking about it. But it does get brought up every once in a while, saying like, "Are you sure this is harder than that?" And so I'm curious what like. Actually, earlier today, was that earlier today? I'm pretty sure that was this morning when we were in Discord.
Yeah.
When you said something about it being easier. I don't know exactly what you said, but a little bit, like in a way or something. And so I'm curious on that side. So I know you've been agreeing this whole time that like it's hard, but in what aspects do you think it's easier?
Well, you're your own boss.
Yeah.
So in terms of like in technicality, like technically you can wake up whenever you want, sleep however long you want.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing that like I'm on a strict schedule. If I don't show up at a specific time, I will be fired, right?
Yeah.
I will lose my job. But you don't have that time limit. You can
Yeah.
show up whenever you want and be done whenever you want.
Yeah.
Right? And it's in your case, it's like, okay, I'm going out, and like physical actual labor, like work for you is throughout the week, film, I don't know, I really don't know how many times you guys film per week, but like let's say 2-3 times, right?
Yeah.
Even 3 times. So 3 days out of the week, you are filming for 3 hours, 4 hours. Right?
Well, the problem with it being Alex and that being my friend, like a good friend, videos do take a long time, but like actual of filming time, I guess we could, yeah, that's not a terrible say,
So we'll
but
say
we will
even-
take a whole entire day up. Like we'll start at 11 and then we'll go into when it was a lighter, longer days. We'd go till dark. So that
But
technically it'd be like
the thing
together for a
is,
long time.
yeah, the thing is about that though is that you guys are spending a lot of that time like BSing and like
Yeah.
enjoying your time together. At no point throughout my 9 hours per day am I enjoying my time
You
with.
be texting a lot.
I mean, yeah, I'm on my phone because I work at a cell phone store.
Yeah, you be on your
That's the
phone
only.
a lot.
But I'm on my phone. I'm not enjoying my time side by side with my home dog and doing a bunch of stuff together and going around the town and
Yeah.
whatever. There's this like, yes, I enjoy the fact that I'm able to be on my phone, but
Yeah.
that's not physical human contact with people who I enjoy,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
I do think there is less than you think of like messing around. Cause like yeah, we'd be having fun, but a lot of it is still like on camera. I think there's less than a lot of people would assume of messing around. They're still messing around for sure, but I think there's less than you would imagine for sure.
so as time goes on, my point that I'm about to make will only get less. But as of right now, let's say you're filming on average 5 hours a day for 3 of the days of the week, right? So that's 15 total hours of labor. And then on Sunday, you are editing and a little bit of Saturday, let's say. And that's a total editing time of 14 to 16 hours. We'll say 15.
Okay.
Okay. In total, that's 30 hours of work. I'm working 50.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's you doing something that you absolutely love versus
Yeah.
most people who are working nine to five are doing it because they have to.
Yeah.
Right. That's the aspect of where it's harder because people are doing more hours for something that they don't thoroughly love. Like most people aren't thoroughly enjoying
Yeah.
versus you're doing something that you thoroughly enjoy for a less amount of time.
Okay. I would argue I work more hours a week.
Well, because you're thinking of the like thinking of ideas aspect and
I mean, so I was just letting you say what you say, but lately, the past like, other than this TJ Maxx video that I just did because we did it super last minute, I did edit that only yesterday. But the past like 4 videos before that, I'll start on Friday and then edit up until even like Monday morning sometimes, and that's at least like it depends. It can get broken up, but if let's say so for example, when we went to Chicago the night before, that was like 12 hours straight. I started at like 7 p.m. ish and then went until like 8 in the morning. That was crazy. But usually that's broken up. But also just like I don't know, filming does like trying to keep up. No offense to Alex or anything. I doubt he's watched this far into this, but if he somehow happened to, but like, so I'm not putting on a persona. I wouldn't say because I'm still fully being me,
you're
but
just putting on the YouTuber.
in a way, I'm putting on a persona. Like I have to be all energetic. Like if you're super boring, no one's gonna watch the video. So in a way, I have to be energetic even if I'm not in the best mood. And then I also have someone with me, so it's very mentally draining. So maybe it feels more because it's like I'm having to make another person happy. It's kind of like a relationship in a way. Like I have to make sure that if he's in a bad mood, I have to somehow still be like, oh, this is all perfectly fine right now. And so having to like, I don't know, upkeeping a person, then now I'm paying him obviously. And so I damn near got employees and I'm gonna have an editor. And then, so I don't know, but I guess I'm drifting off from the hours.
See, what I would say is yes, it can be mentally draining 100% because you're obviously thinking of videos constantly and then also you're having to keep up, the persona and whatever. But like arguing with me is like arguing with a wall on this subject because of the fact that I work at where I work. And I'm not going to say where I work, but
Yeah,
for cell phone stores in general, if you have ever worked at one, I'm sure you'll agree. I get threatened to be like beat up and killed at my job.
yeah,
And I've been physically assaulted. Like, yes, there's a chance of you having that happen to you because of you filming someone who didn't enjoy it, but that is the mentally draining part where someone
yeah,
comes in and they're like, my bill's off by $5 and I'm going to scream at you because of it.
yeah,
And like it's your fault.
yeah,
You don't experience that. You don't experience the
yeah,
dread of the world walking in the doors
yeah,
and people threatening to shoot you. I've been threatened to be killed. I've been threatened to have my tattoos cut off. I've been threatened to be beat up by lesbians. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I like there's been multiple occasions, and there's been a time where I was actually physically assaulted, and they threw phones at me and whatever. So that's the other part.
So
Like, my argument is that
yeah.
my job is way more mentally draining than yours.
Okay. I would say just because like, man, I'd say a way that I'd be happy. I'd say they're both equally draining, and I know you don't want to hear that because you haven't experienced this like the other side, and I haven't experienced that, and so like I'm imagining, yes, that would suck, but no, like it's for me, like knowing what I know. Sometimes, man, I'm not gonna go too into detail, but I would say that I would argue they're equally. I don't know how we could ever prove that. There's no way of proving that though. There's no
Well,
way of.
so I guess on my side of things, you also brought up like having to keep the cameraman happy, right?
Yeah, yeah, keep customers
And then
happy.
you say that it's like a relationship.
Yeah,
I also juggle a relationship.
yeah,
I'm in a very committed relationship now. I'm lucky to be in a relationship where I'm not like arguing at work, and like if she has something to like bring up or something, like she wouldn't say it while I'm at work and like
yeah,
I'm trying to go about my day and like make money, But it is one of those things where like I have the same like I guess risk of that also happening.
yeah.
Um, you know, in the sense of keeping it purely on the topic of like the jobs, like yes, keeping a customer happy to make sure that they will actually buy something from you, right?
Yeah.
Like I am a salesman, and I have to
I'm a salesman.
put on a persona.
Yeah, I think they're equal. I think they're equally, oddly equal in totally
I could
different
be
ways.
talking to someone who's wearing a cowboy hat and boots, and I will become from Kentucky,
Yeah,
and then I'll be talking to someone who grew up in the trenches, and I'll be like, I people morph.
yeah,
I'm constantly people morphing to match whoever I'm talking to,
yeah.
and constantly changing who I am.
Throughout
I'm
the
not
day.
gonna lie, I lie a lot at my job. I lie a lot about like who I am, what I do about my days, and like, oh yeah, no, I love to fish.
Yeah,
I don't fish very often. I do like fishing, not my favorite thing on the earth.
yeah,
Constantly being someone who I'm not,
yeah.
draining.
It like
Sucks.
comes. Actually, I'm finding out a lot more about this than I thought I would. But
Because I'm customer
every
service. There's a difference because if it's like I was a surgeon,
yeah,
there's no customer service in being a surgeon.
I think the jobs that we both have right now, I think every argument that we would make to each other,
Has an
there's
equal
something
argument.
equal
Yeah.
because like yeah, you like the whole different. I mean like once again, I don't put on like none of don't get. I don't fake any of my videos. I don't like put on like a whole different me. Like a lot of my friends can vouch. I act the same in my videos as I do in person. I don't put on like a. So, I mean, I might be a lot more like.
I think what helps with that is the fact that you have your friends filming for you.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. I
Like
don't
if
have.
it was just you and this tripod and this camera, you would definitely have a lot like
A harder time.
you'd have a heavier facade on for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That definitely helps. But yeah, there's like like when you say the. I mean, you switching the personalities thing. I guess that's a little different, but because I don't have to switch my character. I guess I right now with the whole fashion thing, but I do have to switch with trends. I have to be ready to change. Like
You have
all
to
of a
pay attention.
sudden,
You don't have anyone to tell you when that's
yeah,
going to
and I
happen
have
or
to do it.
what's
Yeah,
going to be or
yeah, and the tomorrow it could be like everyone could decide they hate baggy sweatpants tomorrow, and then I have to just be ready to change with that. So in a way, I'm always changing. It's just not literally throughout the day, but I mean, yeah, I like to.
And then the other thing that I would say that you have an argument for is the creativity aspect, and to be able to like bounce off of each end and say like they're still equal. My job, I would argue, is just as creative.
Really?
That is my hot take here.
Okay.
Now, it's not creative in the sense of like I have to make something out of thin air,
Yeah.
but almost where it's a situation where I'm like, okay, I've got a customer who came in. They are currently going through a finance on their phone. They didn't buy insurance and their phone is fucked up, and they don't have any warranty option or anything, and they have it's either you pay $900 here or you go get your phone fixed for $700.
Yeah.
Like there's no good solution here. So
different
I have
kinds
to
of
figure
creative.
out something.
Yeah, different.
And so it's like, okay, I have to go around, like there's a million different deals and there's a million things and rules and policies that I have to remember about this job because, again, I am working with people's socials. I'm working with like, you know, all these different like, you know, all these barriers and restrictions that I have. It's almost to a point where I have to go around so many things to a point where I have to make something out of nothing in those cases.
Yeah. So very different kind, because very
It's just a different
kinds
kind of creative.
Because so I have to figure out with nothing on my plate, how am I going to make a video about me getting dressed interesting? And then I have to come up with that. The hard part on your end where you have to get intuitive. It's a good word. It's a big word. It's a big word. Yeah, is just figuring out, because I guess I have witnessed he's done it a couple times with
literally
my phone
with
plans.
you.
Yeah.
With you, I have had to get creative.
Still got to figure that out.
Yeah, I had a reminder set for today to check that, and I didn't go to work for some reason.
For some reason.
Rest in peace, bro.
Dude. Nah, yeah.
Hey, that's me being creative, bro. What are you talking about?
That's not creative.
That's super creative. You said you needed a filmer. I got creative, bro. Come on.
I didn't want you to go that far, though.
I went far. I ran the marathon.
Anyways, so there's actually very equal arguments on each side. Like, I was ready to make some pretty solid points, but it's just your way. You're in a different way. Your way in a different way.
It's the thing about me specifically, because if you could argue with like a fast food worker, there's an argument there, I would say. But for like there's a chance of you winning that, I guess.
Yeah.
But in my sense, where I work the hours I work, have to be as creative as I have to be, you know, show up and have all these like rules that I have to follow, otherwise I will be fired. It's like one of those things where I'm more than confident saying my job is significantly harder.
Yeah.
And like the thing is like you like hitting up Alex like, all right, let's go film today. And you're like, we're going to go to TJ Maxx, for example, right? You saying that does not give you like a dreadful feeling in your body and like does not physically like give you a sick feeling in your stomach about like, I'm about to have to go spend the next 9 hours in the same building, in the same spot, in the same like 2 rooms, right? There's nothing new that you see. There's nothing like that you can just go, like you're going and that's the great thing about my delivery job was I was going and seeing a lot of new things all the time. And that's why I stayed there for as long as I did. But I'm in the same spot, completely stationary, see the same thing every single day, do the same thing every single day. Every conversation starts and ends the exact same way. Here's my number, constantly answering, and I'm answering customers' questions on my days off. They're calling me, they're texting me. Like I have a work phone, obviously, and so it's like if I hear that thing blowing up, I'm obviously going to check it, right?
Yeah. I
don't get paid for checking that thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I would say in my sense, where I would say that I'm probably the worst of the people to argue with, because of the job that I currently work.
Yeah, one thing that a lot of people wouldn't assume, but lately has been taking a big toll on me, is that I only get that feeling with editing, is because editing takes
as long as a shift.
As long as a shift, at least, yeah. Like as long as I would go work a shift, it at least takes that long. And so when I sit down, like when I get done, the filming part's super fun, and I have to sit down, or like the day before when I'm like rendering the videos and getting them ready to edit. I'll sit down at my desk and like check my phone for some reason, then I all of a sudden scroll for an hour, and then like I really avoid it for a long time, and that is a minus of being your own boss. There's the plus of like sleeping as long as you want and doing stuff whenever you want, but it's also a big minus because if you don't get it done, it's on you. There's no one to blame. There's literally you. That is a very hard part.
Rocket League.
That is a very hard part. I don't even know what you just said. What?
You're playing ones in Rocket League.
One's a rocket.
No
You're
one
going
to
back
blame.
and forth.
It's your own fault.
Yeah, and it's just that is a big argument that I don't think a lot of jobs have is the
I mean, you
feeling
still
of having
technically
to
have
keep.
no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
And my job,
Okay.
because
I
it's
mean-
like if I have work at 8:30 in the morning, and I stay up till 4 playing video games, whose fault is that?
That is your fault.
You know.
Let me tell you that sometimes.
Now, one thing I was gonna say before I lose it was like obviously getting started as a content creator is probably harder than where you're sitting now, right?
For
like,
sure.
Obviously, like
Yeah.
getting your YouTube from when you started this year at 5,000 subscribers up to now 80 something.
Yeah.
Like obviously the 5,000 versus the 85,000, let's say, EJ is different in
Yeah.
terms of like how much energy output and how hard is this to
Yeah.
do, right? Reason that gets easier is because you do one video per week, and that one video has the potential to, just a random number out there. Let's say this has the potential to make me $5,000, right? And let's say like you have the potential of hitting one of those videos doing $5,000, even all of those videos doing $1,000, and actual, like, that's what I make. That's more than what I made,
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, you technically do put in a little bit less hours at something that you thoroughly enjoy, and you're making more, let's say, right? Like just pure YouTube, not outside factors, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that is where your job is easier, right? Because I show up and we just did the math. I make $220 pre-tax per day. And so $220 pre-tax per day at the end of the week is roughly $1,000 a week pre-tax. Yeah. Technically, your money is also pre-tax, but you don't pay that until the end of the year, so it doesn't feel that way, right? Yeah. So,
man, we can talk about taxes.
Man, we can talk about taxes. And the tax aspect, yeah.
Man, we can talk about whose job is better on the tax list. Man, but getting to the end of the year or whatever, getting it a little bit into the new year and getting a check back, it's a couple bands or whatever, depending on how much you make, multiple bands, maybe just a couple hundred, depending on how much you make, but
that's the thing, and my job is the tax aspect is also different. Commission is the most taxed in our state. It's the highest taxed.
So you get taxed on your commission?
Yes, I get taxed on everything, hourly and commission.
Wait, so you get, okay, yeah, we both get taxed. It's just at different times. You get it taken.
I get taken as it comes,
but given back.
But at some point, it's some portion is given back. Yes.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but so the higher I make in commission. Like, I'll give you an example. This last month, I sold 2,000. My check was worth $2,000. Okay. That's how much that was worth. After taxes were taken out, I had $1,200. They took $800 from me last month on just the commission check. Every hour, I get 2 hourly checks per month. Roughly $600 is taken out of those each. So roughly per month, I'm getting $2,000 taken in taxes every month. At the end of the year, that's about $24,000 that I'm paying in taxes.
Okay, and then out of that $24,000.
Out of that $24,000 in March, when I get my tax returns back, I'm probably getting like $3,500, $4,000 back.
Yeah.
And like I have a different thing at work that also pays me at the end of every year that is pretty hefty, but like just talking pure taxes, like I still am paying a lot in taxes. It's just the fact of literally paying, a lump sum or like financing your taxes.
It's like, yeah, I guess it's big, but like it's just taken out.
Yeah, no,
it's just taken out.
It's the same as like getting your wages garnished for child support or like, that kind of thing.
It's just like getting. So
you just never see the money.
You just never see it, which is what makes it feel a little better. You like man. I've only done it one year. This will be my second year, and I'm a lot more prepared going this time around. The first time around,
beginning of this year, you were in a pickle.
I basically was down bad up until I just paid those off. Just so you know,
yeah,
I just paid those off.
You're good, isn't it, bro?
I guess I get So a week ago, I just paid those off.
Shit.
And now in a couple months they'll be right back, but.
You're gonna be in a situation where you're just constantly paying
Yeah,
taxes.
yeah. Well, I wasn't ready. If I did that again, I would be constantly. But this time I'll be ready, and hopefully I have just money put to the side. When it hits, I'll just pay it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know how much we got to
And you
figure
got to
out.
get better at writing
Yeah,
off
I got to.
stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So this year I wrote off a lot of stuff. Last year, for example, just for a quick little side story, I didn't know what the taxes were going to be like. So basically, 2023, I didn't make enough to even file taxes. Didn't even do taxes. 2024, I owed $10,000. Yeah. So like, and I had no money put aside because I didn't realize I didn't even know how much money I made in the year. I was just going with the flow. And all of a sudden we got to the end of the year, and all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, hand over 10 bands." Didn't know what to do. And I was like, and it was on the last day. I found this out on April 16th. I'm pretty sure it's the last day.
The last day of
I
taxes.
found this out on April 15th. Just paid it off. Yeah. So that's just from like, luckily they do the whole, you can finance it or whatever, but I don't want to do that. Yeah. So this whole year, and that was, so for a whole like 8 hours straight, I went through every single transaction for the past 365 days. So I don't know, whatever, 2023 or 2024, and just wrote off as much stuff as I could. And I didn't know what I was doing. I definitely could have wrote off more. So now this year I've been like keeping up. I have everything up until October written off. So now I just need to do like 2 months. Make it a lot easier. Anyways, at least learning it. Once I learn it and I'll be good, then taxes will damn near be easier on my end, because you just
and then also and then you also have this, the portion where you could just go to somebody who will also help you do that. You pay with how much that they're going to help you save with like the writing off stuff, like then it makes it easier for you to pay someone to just do that. By the end, like technically you made more money than me last year and you paid less in taxes still.
Yeah.
Because I made less. We can cut this part out, but I made like
20, don't say it if just in case.
Okay. I already kind of said it.
Because I don't know, it's going to be like over an hour of footage, and there's no way I'd chop up this whole thing.
Yeah. But I made a lot less. I made like a fourth less than you.
Yeah.
And I paid like $5,000 more in taxes by the end of it. But it just doesn't feel as bad because it's
just getting taken.
Right. That's the good thing about having your own business and being your own business, is that you have that as an option, right?
It's just so hard to learn.
It's just hard.
So at the very moment I'm in right now, I would argue my end sucks a lot more. But in the future, or even pretty soon probably, if you, and like, I guess I don't know the whole taxes, like how much
we'll have to go over that one.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out at some time, like how much, like the exact number
year.
I owed and the exact number that they took from you.
Yeah.
Once I learn it, I know it's easy once you learn it. It's just that no matter what, I'm always going to be sending them a lump sum of money. So it just that broad aspect, it just seems worse. But then once you dig into the details and stuff, it's really not that bad. But my first year in it, I still have technically only done 1 year. It sucks to figure out and find out the hard way. I just found out the hard way the day before they were due. Thought I was going to go to jail.
Tax evasion.
And yeah. Man.
I don't know. I feel like, you've had to do a lot of growing up because of the job, right? I've been grown up.
Yeah.
Right. And so like a lot of this stuff, like the taxes stuff and like the everything, has always made sense. And like filing taxes takes me 20 minutes on TurboTax.
Yeah, but that's so different.
And then in three weeks, I get my money, and it's just direct deposit, and I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's super easy, but also there's the scenario where like technically, I'm in one of those situations where the more I make, the more I'll be taxed, right? Because the way that the tax
for me.
Well, yeah, but it's also a tax bracket situation in the state of Nebraska. You're taxed based off of what like household income you are. And so technically with how much money I make, I'm technically like a median household income. And so I'm taxed like I make anywhere from $55,000 to $150,000 a year. So I would be taxed the same whether I was making $150,000
mm-hmm.
or if I was making, like, technically I'd have more money per year if I made like $4,000 less last year,
Okay.
for example.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know much or anything at all about the others. I just know they're easier to file. W-2s are
Easier to
easier to file.
file, you get fucked way harder.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the thing. It's kind of like you paying for convenience, as almost what it feels like. It's like, okay, I could pay $20 for this item
It's like a
because
loan with bad interest.
yeah, well, it's like
And
imagine there's a gas station right across the street from your house, or there's a gas station all the way across town, and the item that you want is $1 at the one across the town, or $20 at the one that's right next to you. You're paying for convenience, right?
yeah.
Right. You're not going across. You're not driving 25, 30 minutes across town to go get the item for $19 less. You're just gonna say, "F it, I'll swallow the 19 and I'm going to take it right there." It's the same thing as the taxes.
So for me, I'm taking the drive.
For you, you're taking the drive.
I'm taking the drive
For example.
because in my head, I instantly thought of taking the drive.
Exactly.
Damn, what was I gonna say? What was I saying right before that? Oh, like it's literally like we're living car loans, where some people just go in the dealership and it's technically dealership cars wise, it's technically not a better deal to just straight up buy it in cash, but we'll talk in just money terms, later on and how good it is for your credit and all that BS. Just straight up, it's like you technically pay more when you loan or when you finance a car than you would if you would just straight up buy it. So technically, it's like you're financing, and I have to buy it straight up. And so
But I don't have the choice.
Yeah.
I don't have the choice. It is like because it's one of those things where I could easily put aside whatever amount that I was going to be taxed at the end of the year if I knew how much, like, I guess not how much I was going to make. I guess if I could easily do that if I knew how much I'd be able to save. Like in this, like, we're gonna compare, and I guarantee that you've made more than me this year, guaranteed. But because if it's anything like last year,
No, last year was a pretty big boom year.
but
I don't think I've made as much as
I'm
that.
thinking of the recent thing we talked about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the in that scenario, I would easily pay, like, let's say your taxes are 10 grand again, and mine are 15. To save $5,000, I would make it so that I just got all my money now and put just some aside each month for taxes at the end of the year. I would make sure to do that because that would also save me, instead of me putting aside, technically them financing me an extra $1,000 per month or something. I'm now only putting aside 1,000 instead of 2,000, right? Kind of thing, just for example.
One
really
thing,
rough math, but
one thing I would really that is very it's pretty obvious, but what I guess kind of sucks. It doesn't suck because I'm so used to it, but for someone trying to get into it is going into, like, I thought of it because you said if I knew how much to set aside and like everything. Mostly everything I do, money wise or whatever, since that's the main thing, is like I'm just going into it blindly. Like last
pure
year,
gamble, yeah.
It's always blind. Like, yeah, I have this great video idea and I think it's gonna get at least 100K, and then it could completely just like I spend $1,000 making the video and it could make $100, and then a lot of whatever. But it's just going into it blind. Like last year, made quite a bit of money. I don't know. This year I could make half that, or I could make quadruple that. And so, and then also just like not knowing. There's a lot you don't know. There's just so much you don't know, and that's what sucks for most people, and that's why it's so hard for a lot of people. Is because you have to literally be okay with the unknown. It sounds like I just put that on a T-shirt, but to explore the unknown. That jacket says "explore the unknown." That's why I thought of that. But it's literally that. Like you just always have to be. There's the right and left space, and there's colors on each side, and you always have to be in that gray space in the middle, and be okay with it. When you have the option to go do the outer side, that gray, it's very uncomfortable. You just have to learn how to be okay with being uncomfortable. That's a very hard thing for people to do. And I wouldn't even say I'm used to it. It's just that I've always told myself there's no option.
Yeah.
But it's just that's the main thing though, is like I guess I'm not exactly making an argument here. I just kind of wanted to say that. That is one thing that's very hard to do, is just be okay in the constant unknown of like what's coming up, how much I'm gonna make.
But that I would also argue that that's almost a benefit too, because there's like you're not set an exact amount every single month, which could be bad, but could also be good, right? I'm basically set an amount every single month. I'm on average making X amount of dollars per month,
Yeah.
right? But there's a chance that you quadruple what I
Yeah.
make, or there's a chance that you make twice as less, right? Yeah. There's always those in between chances, and you're kind of at that stage where it's like a all videos are going to make you something, but how much they're going to make you is what's deferring, right? Yeah. And so there's a chance that like a video makes you $5,000, right? And that's one video out of the 4 videos you do that month, and that's already more than what I made in a single month. But there's also the scenario where you make 4 flops and in a row, and you're still sitting there with, let's say you made 500 per video, you're still sitting there with half of what I made. Yeah. So
yeah, I guess
in terms of like yes, you are in an unknown space. You are still guaranteed at the point that you're at. You are guaranteed money per video. You are guaranteed something.
It just could not be a lot.
It just
then
and the scenario that you are in, where it's like a I don't have my own place and I'm still like living where I live. It's like you just have less financial responsibility than I have.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean like it's just easier because I don't pay the full thing, and so I still pay for everything that. Well, I guess we don't have to talk specifics, but like generally, I think I pay the same things. They're just all less
significant. Yeah.
Except my car, I always pay more on, but that's kind of my choice.
Yeah.
But all of them are, yeah. But then I spend a lot of money each month.
Yeah.
On the videos or whatever, and so.
And there could be times where like, the thing is that I'm also in a space where how much I'm going to make is completely unknown, because my commission, like there's been times where I've, last December, for example, I only got 70% of what they were asking me to get. And I got a commission check for $700 pre-tax. Okay. Right. I usually use my commission check.
500?
It was like 450, 500.
Okay.
Right. I usually use my commission check to pay my rent.
Okay.
For example, because those other two checks that I get for $1,000 a piece or something usually go towards car rent or car groceries twice, car insurance, the light bill, internet, Hazel, obviously, right? So
that's his dog.
That's my dog. So it's one of those things where if I spend those first 2 $1,000 checks on everything else, and then it comes to rent, and I had a shit month that previous month, there's a chance I can't pay rent.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like sometimes I only get paid twice in a month because a commission check falls the same day as my second hourly check, and like those are always nice because then boom, I'm getting like $3,000 hitting the account. But also there's times where like, okay, you just got your hourly check for $1,000, you had a shit month, so technically all you get is $1,800, and I have to somehow manage rent, which is $1,250, $1,300.
I was gonna say if you're comfortable saying that, that would like help.
Yeah, $1,250, $1,300 a month when I only got $1,800, and now that check I also have to pay my Verizon bill, I have to get groceries, I have to also pay my internet and this and that, the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like having $500 to stretch out. Like there's a chance, although you could be in a worse position than me, there's also a chance of you being in a way better position.
I was gonna say, I
feel like I would be down to take that risk.
You want to take that risk
for that job.
Yeah. That one thing, but the risk is always there.
The risk is always there.
It is always
not for Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is always going to have money in that motherfucking account.
Mr. Beast can post a video of him just talking. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
No,
he's beat YouTube.
He's completed.
Yeah,
YouTube.
He's completed YouTube. He's 100%ed YouTube.
He's completed it. Yeah, he beat the campaign for sure.
I think he's the only guy to do that.
Yeah,
PewDiePie probably. PewDiePie has also done that. He quit gaming entirely.
Yeah,
if you saw that.
I didn't. I think you said it. I think I heard you. I heard someone say.
He quit gaming
or Johnny
entirely.
said it. I think John. I don't know.
And now he's just doing family content, which is weird.
That's weird. But yeah, I guess I didn't see. That's what I'm saying. Going into that, I didn't think you were gonna have much of a comeback to that. But that's just the things. If you've listened to this whole thing, shout out to you. But
Man,
it
it's
just
probably
kind
gonna be
of
like Jay.
it really
Shout out to my fate man.
it really just puts into perspective that like I mean yeah, jobs get hated on so much, and then there's also the people that actually there's no way they'd want to do social media over their job they have. Like there's so many pros and cons to each, and it kind of just this simple short conversation kind of shows that it's not that different. It just but it is. But actually no, it's very different, but it's not. I don't know
Yeah,
how to explain that because
I would.
we came to such a neutral, but at the same time there's
There's
it's
not an answer for
yeah.
sure. I would say my closing argument is that
And I'll make a closing argument.
yeah, my closing argument is that there is a significant amount of more people on this earth who are like I would rather like if you gave me the choice to quit my job and go be a content creator in some way shape or form, they are quitting their job on the spot. There's a significant amount of more people who are going to say yes to that than people who are not.
Yeah, but there's a significant less amount of people that are willing to take that risk.
Well, I'm saying like if it was a guaranteed
If it
like
was given.
if it
Yeah.
was given
Well
and
then yeah.
they had the choice between like okay you could stay doing this or you could go for the same exact amount you could go and be a content creator. A lot more people are going to switch over to that versus if a content creator was if I walked up to you and you were like, hey,
Same.
EJ makes $100,000 per year, for example. I'll give you a job that's worth $100,000 per year. You're not leaving content creation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's less vice versa is my point.
I guess yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I just know there's a lot like I guess so if it was guaranteed obviously, yeah. When it comes to the reality of it, it's just a lot less people willing to take that risk, and that doesn't even really come back to you. Like this example, for example, is that's just the way you grew up. It's not like you like it's what you know, and it's just the way I grew up. And so the whole like risk taker thing when people are like, "Oh, you need to toughen up and take a risk," and like you could be doing this and this. That's one thing I will argue for people in a full-time job position is like it's the same thing for me. I can't comprehend like that was a good example that you said if everything got taken away, I'm not instantly thinking I got to get a new job or I got to find a job. Just like if you were working a job, you're not instantly thinking, okay, I'll stay out of this job and
And
try
go be a
social
content
media.
creator.
Yeah. And so, but it's like I completely lost where I was going.
Oh, sounds like I win.
I don't even remember what I started that with once I switched. You win.
I win.
Oh, like risk takers. I'd almost say it's not like you can't just get yourself to be better at taking risks almost. It's just like it's just what I do.
No, you were in a lucky position where it didn't feel so much as a risk.
Well, I mean, I only started making money last year. I only like I
Yeah,
still went
well,
into
yeah.
the years. I still went into the years of like people looking at me like I was a bum for having no job. I made sure to lock in before. Like right now, if I was still in the position I was in 4 years ago, it'd be a lot worse, obviously.
Yeah.
I just happened, and like I literally can't be like you should have started when you were 13 because I didn't make that decision. Like if I start now, by the time I'm 22, I can be set. Or if I start now, in 10 years, I won't be too old to the point. Or like I didn't like do that.
didn't
It's
plan
literally
that,
just
yeah.
by God's grace. Like it literally like I would love to be like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, but it wasn't like it literally wasn't a thing where I was like, you know, I'm gonna decide very early on that I'm gonna do this so that I can be in a better position then, and I don't got to be in a 9 to 5 when I am 22 years old. And I didn't like I didn't plan that. I didn't map that out.
That's
And
just what
so
it was.
yeah, it's just what it was, and I'd love to be one of those people that's on the internet like you can. I'm basically making fun of people that work a job and complain about it because there's plenty of people that love their 9 to 5 jobs. There's plenty of
There's a
people that
lot of
love
people,
them.
yeah.
But for the people that like don't love them and they hear people complain about them, I see videos of like people basically making fun of them. I just try to think of it from my perspective. It's just like unless you are one of those smaller amount of people that like the example you said that get off their job and then spend until they go back to work basically doing social media or whatever it is. There's not a lot of people that do that. If you are one of those people, what you can have the argument. You can have the argument because
if you're doing both,
if you're doing both, you can have the argument. But for the people that are just kind of like, this was an example. This is a video I wanted to do because it wasn't like a thing where like yeah, you tried it and technically gave up. I hate to use that word, but like you're still
the door's always going to be open.
It's always open, but it like both for us, it just is how it was. Like it wasn't a thing where like you were doing something else and you're like, I don't even want to do it. I'd love to do it, but I'm just gonna decide not to. Both of our situations are literally just the way it was.
So there's a streamer recently who went out and got an actual job for like a week. He had a job and he showed up to these shifts for a week. He like stopped streaming for a week and went to this job to like give it a try. And at the end he was like, I will say like, yes, streaming is way easier. Like content creation is way easier, whatever. Now I think it kind of just depends on what job you end up picking to apply for. But I think he applied for some like pallet loading job at like a Walmart or something, like something like that, which is like heavy lifting and like you're driving forklifts and stuff. I don't know, but
you didn't like Walmart.
I hated Walmart.
Yeah, he didn't like Walmart.
And I'm not gonna, talk smack on Walmart because if one day I am a famous musician and I want to put my music.
And we're not dissing you if you work at Walmart.
Yeah,
I'm just saying personal. Because I know they pay good. I know they pay great.
Hey, I will say my experience with Walmart was I didn't get fired. My job shut down permanently because of COVID, and I had to find a different job. I had a family member who works in Walmart pretty high up, and they got me a job. And when I got into that job, I realized how fucking dog shit it was.
Yeah.
Which I would argue that a lot of people probably agree who do work at Walmart that the job is dog shit.
They just get you with the money.
But I was doing the online grocery like curbside pickup department.
There's definitely someone watching this video that does that.
In the middle of COVID too, where no one wanted to go inside the store, so it was significantly busier.
Yeah.
That could have played into how much I fucking hated the job.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I was faking having the job, and I was sending pictures to my mom in my vest, like pretending that I was going to work. And I'd turn around and I'd go hang out with EJ.
Yeah. The funny thing about every story we've told today, we've experienced from each other. Other than like us starting, like his first job, I didn't experience his first job. He didn't experience my very first video.
But you were there for Red Lobster. You were there for every job other than detasseling.
Yeah.
You were there for Jet Splash.
Technically, Jet Splash. I saw you in the shirt all the time.
Yeah.
But like, so the funny thing about all these stories is we've like experienced them, hearing them from each other, like seeing them happen. And so obviously there's no actual like argument here. As much as I argue with this guy, this was just like a simple debate because I actually wanted to have this conversation, and I'm glad we did. It kind of put a couple more things into perspective about, I don't know if it did for you at all, but I don't know anything about the workforce.
See, and that's the thing is I feel like I know a lot more about your side of things than you know about my side of things for sure.
But it's also,
I wouldn't say that
a lot more interesting.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't know, and that's the thing.
It's like I don't really want to know more about the workforce field, but
don't blame you.
The phone stuff is, I do like technology a lot, so the phone stuff is more interesting whenever I come check that out.
Once every couple of years.
Yeah, that is more interesting than most workforce, but most it's not like I want to learn more about it.
Yeah, don't blame you. But
so you definitely know more about yeah.
But I wouldn't say definitely took some aspects. What I learned mostly was that they're a lot more comparable to each other than I thought.
Got to dumb that one down.
They were a lot more comparable.
All right, there we go.
They're able to be kind of even Stevened in a lot more aspects than I thought.
I'd say that's the main thing I'm taking from this is I actually thought we were going to have very...
Like I thought my argument was an easy win.
Yeah, me too.
And then it came to a point where like I still think mine wins, but I see like instead of me being like I won by like 95%, I'm winning by like 10%.
Yeah, it's
like 5%.
It's smoothened out the ground a lot. Yeah. Like I really thought there was major differences in the two, and this was going to be a super interesting video on like no, your job is a lot easier because of this, and then you actually don't have a response to it, and then like I thought there was going to be very different and like black and white opposite, and then everything just had
Because, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's we're both doing it to make an income.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's
And
work.
at the end of the day, it's
It's
work.
literally it is work.
And so, no
But
matter what, it's going to have a lot of similarities. It's just a matter of like, you know, obviously what goes into your work, and you know, you're
what
you're
is-
technically still part of the workforce.
yeah,
As much as you wouldn't want to like say that you are, technically you
yeah.
are, because you know, you contribute to like the economy and like GDP and
I
stuff.
pay taxes.
You pay taxes,
I
right?
paid- yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like there's going to be similarities regardless, because both of us are doing what we're doing to make money,
Yeah.
and you know, everybody needs money to make the world go around. So
Yeah. I really don't like talking about money. That's why we don't really talk specific numbers. But it's what everyone thinks of. It's what everyone
you
wants
think of
to
a
know.
YouTuber, you think
They're making a lot of money.
they have
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah, it's what everyone thinks of, and so that's one thing you guys will learn about me is I don't like talking about money. I really
Sometimes
don't.
I get it out of him. But
He's the most out of anybody that would know like how much I've ever made or any type of thing, and it's still not a lot that you know.
yeah.
You found out very little, and even my closest friend doesn't know a lot about it. That's how much I don't like to talk about it, because that's also a difference. I would say, and it's not even an argument at all. It's just that I went all those years without making any money, and that did suck. That did really suck. And it's a lot easier to say now that it just sucked and move on from it. It's a lot easier to say now than in the moment editing so much and still having it drain my brain as much as it does now, but like not getting any benefit from it other than
I mean, I think of the beginning of this year when you were taking it serious,
yeah.
but you weren't gaining anything from it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like that's where I feel like it would be the hardest, because it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people who might end up seeing this video are coming from the main channel,
Yeah.
and they're like, they see your videos have 100,000+
Yeah.
views, and in my eyes, like if I click on a video and it has like 100,000 views, I'm like, okay, that's a reputable video. A lot of people saw it. Obviously, it got views for a reason. I'm going to click on it and watch it. I'm personally not clicking on a video that has 500 views.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so the complete polar opposite. Your channel was a deserted wasteland
For
back
a
last
long time.
December,
At
exactly a year
At
ago.
this time
Yeah,
last year, if I
completely
broke
dead.
1,000 views a year ago today, if I broke 1,000 views, I would be like, wow,
That's crazy. Yeah.
like,
And so it's like now you are, you get a video, for example, like I think the video before the TJ Maxx one, last I checked, had like 175 or something around
yeah,
there.
it depends which video you're talking about, but
And it's like, now that's like, I don't know, it's the difference, obviously, in like how easy it is to say like this job is, because like obviously as time goes on and you make more money, the easier the job gets. The more money you have to shovel at people to help you do what you need to get done, the easier the job is going to get, right? More money, more problems, I guess.
yeah,
But
yeah, it's just anything we say, it just depends, and there's so many different ways you could.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
in certain ways it'll definitely get easier, but I think in certain ways it'll get harder.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those where it's like, you got, you pay your editor, you pay 2 filmers, and you pay a guy to make your thumbnails.
Yeah.
Well, boom, now you've got an entire workforce all of a sudden that you have to pay, and you have a business to run, and now you are thinking about merch, and like there's a million things to think about, yes, but the good thing about your job is that it's less so actual manual labor, where it's like I'm running around grabbing the phones. I'm like, my job is comparative to like someone who's working construction
nothing.
or like a lineman of some kind. My job is nothing, but my job, and I think the gap between me and a construction worker and you versus me is the same in terms of,
and then
of
it just
actual
flips.
labor.
Yeah.
Because your labor comes mainly here,
Yeah,
and then
it's
you
very-
type and say, this is what I need, or like this is what I need,
Yeah.
and like boom, I'm doing stuff on a computer, and like that's where I would probably argue it really sucks, because like, I mean, again, equal argument, we're
It's
both staring
literally-
at screens all day.
Yeah.
So that would be like that's the most exhausting part of my day is I was like staring at a screen all day. So
Yeah, it gets very and like not even on some like it's a fact. Just like it literally makes you tired
yeah,
staring at
yeah. And I
pixels all
can
day.
vouch.
It
Yeah,
literally makes you tired. And
super
so like
vouch, super vouch.
yeah, that whole I forgot I brought up that started with something though to get you going on that. I was gonna say something pretty good. You interrupted me.
Ah,
So
there's no chance you pull
say
it.
sorry.
Sorry.
Oh man, I was kind of having like a pretty I don't know yeah, and whenever I see it I'm like and I'm gonna know what I was gonna say and it's gonna suck.
Then we can argue outside the camera.
Well, I remember it was when I was saying I'm not even making an argument. I'm just making like I was just making
My
a
final
point.
point.
Yeah, I was making like my point or whatever. It wasn't even like an argument, but I don't remember. So that's sorry.
Well, what I've learned is it is comparable for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it was on that note. It was after you said that.
Yeah.
It is a lot more comparable than we thought. Yeah, and then
Something or another.
there's so many pros and cons to each. It just depends on which.
Where you're looking
It's
at
always
from.
it's in different places.
Yeah.
Where your pros are is where I don't know if that's exactly how, but basically where pros are for me is cons for you, and I don't know. They just go back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Either that or they both equally suck for both of us, or they're both equally great for both of us.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah. So it just kind of puts into perspective. Like it's not as different as I thought. I won't speak for you on the other side of the screen, or you either. It's a lot more similar than I thought. I'm getting close to where we were before when I said whatever I said. I'm not gonna remember, but this was a good convo.
Good freaking convo.
This was a good convo. This is over an hour. It's like an hour and 10, 14 minutes or something, I think. It was over an hour of just workforce versus content creation.
Could argue this all day.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about this all day. We could definitely keep it going. So I guess if y'all want to see more interesting subjects like this, I could get someone who works a lot more hard labor. That'd be a good comparison. Like find someone that actually is doing like construction.
Yeah,
like
get someone who's like out
working from 6 to
like someone out in the snow.
Yeah,
doing like cables or something.
And they've done like the snow work, and then they do it in the blazing heat in the summer.
Yeah,
that'd be a good debate.
I mean, I think you would lose. I think you would lose easy. Which one's harder?
Well, yeah, if we're just that subject they can have, especially physically they got
conversation
that all
over.
physically they got that all the way. But I'd be interested in the similarities, and I'd be interested in the things that I like. I don't know that possible arguments. I don't know what they are as of right now, but I don't know. I've never done like a podcast thing, but technically this is like a little podcast episode.
Yeah, you were on my podcast. Let's chill.
Yeah. I have done one other podcast. If y'all want to see a random, what did we even talk about?
No clue. I couldn't find the channel.
I remember telling stories.
Yeah.
I remember telling stories at one point about
Big Homie Podcast. The Big Homie Podcast.
The Big Homie Podcast, yeah.
If you can
I might link it in the description if I remember. If I don't, and you somehow watch this point of the video, it'll be like, oh, comment below, like, hey, you got to link the other podcast. But we did one other podcast multiple years ago. I still had dreads. And the cameraman is in it, and then it's him as like the host. And we did one episode, and we just talk. So if you're into long videos like this of people just talking and want to learn more about us, that was a very...
If you want to learn more about past DJ before he was famous and cut off all his day ones, that would be the video.
Not famous.
You in most people's eyes are famous. You're not famous in my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't see you and I'm like...
Yeah.
I see you and I want to fucking throw a chair at your face. But there, you had an example the other day. A kid ran up to you and...
Yeah, that is weird. And a lot of...
got starstruck by you.
A lot of people's eyes... People do.
In most people's eyes, they're saying you have almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and you have almost 1 million on TikTok. Famous. If I'm looking at someone else with your same numbers, I'm saying that person's famous. Or that person's at least got clout of some kind. Clout.
Just unlocked that. You just pulled that. Yeah.
What am I even? It's the big 2018 or something. 2017.
Yeah, it's a big 26. You just pulled it out and from then.
What am I, rice gum?
You might be the first person to say that in 2025. No, I'm just kidding. Um, that is one different thing that I think about. My definition of viral and famous, and that's a big reason why I don't think I'm any of that. I know a lot of people think of me as that, and that's awesome. I appreciate it. But for the longest time, my definition of viral and famous and like all that has been very different from anybody that I've talked to. Like, in my opinion, I've never gone viral. Wooloo has gone viral with the rain video. That is the first thing that I will accept is viral. Out of like,
What about my video?
I wouldn't call that viral.
Seen by like 30 million people.
I just like
That's more than Wooloo's.
Yeah, but that's across his one video on TikTok has 30 million, and that's just TikTok.
Hey,
Like multiple times. He's like every time he reposts that video, it gets like at least 20 million.
if I was him, I'd just repost that. Wooloo, if you see this, just
Yeah,
repost
no.
that video every day, once every day for the rest of until it's not working anymore.
That and then I downloaded it for the Depop video. I put him in the beginning of the Depop video. And on YouTube, there's so many videos of it on YouTube too. And so then on
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm sure there's like just because like I don't know, but I'm just being honest. Yeah, that's yeah. My standards for the word viral and the word famous, I guess I would accept I'm like known in a way, but famous I think of like Lil Baby, and I think of like
Well, yeah, you're thinking A-listers.
I
You're not
I think
famous
of
in an A-lister. You're a C-lister.
yeah. So to me, I think of famous.
You're like
as
a D-lister.
one.
I'll give you a D-lister.
I think of famous as one tier. Everyone else I've talked to, and
Well, everyone has always heard of like, oh, that's an A-list celebrity. That's a B-list celebrity. It's like either you're like A-list is like The Rock, like
Yeah.
like all of them, right? And then B-list, I would give Lil Baby like B-list.
yeah,
And then C-list would be like forgotten people, like
Who would be C list?
like BB No Money, or like uh, like Victoria Justice,
Yeah.
Tori from Victorious. Like, I would argue that those are C-listers, and then you're right below them. Because I would argue that like big YouTubers,
I think I'm like a
Mr.
W
Beast is the
list.
only YouTuber who I
Like-
Mr. Beast and Kai Cenat are A-listers.
Yeah.
But then most YouTubers would fall into like a C-list, B-list category. But then the people who are like coming up
That's the crazy thing about YouTubers.
is like you're a D-list.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about YouTube is there's really I don't even think of it as much of a B list. There's like A and then it goes to like C.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're either
You're either-
like Mr. Beast, like Speed, Kai, like you're
known by
huge.
everybody.
And then like another like I'm just off the top of my head like a big like Quan is a very big YouTuber like fashion world wise. And I wouldn't say he's a B tier. He's very very known. He is very big. Like you know the name at least. Like you've heard the name Quan. I don't expect
Only
you to
from
know.
you guys.
Yeah, I don't expect you to know anything about him.
Had I not been friends with you guys, I would never know who he is. So
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying he's not like a B list. Like I that's the weird thing about YouTube. Like there is just top dogs, and then there's like C list. Like I mean obviously there technically is probably plenty of B tiers, but anyways, yeah, that's a whole side
separate topic.
That's a whole side separate topic. I think yeah.
I think it's time.
I think I'm like W list. Anyways, yeah, it's bedtime. No, it ain't. It's time to play.
COD time.
Or Rocket League. I was thinking Rocket League.
Whatever, dude.
I'm thinking play Rocket League. We're not in a gang. This is random handshake we made up. Appreciate you, Xanato.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd be down to do more stuff like this. We could do one of these with cameraman even. I don't know what to talk about. He's not a very interesting guy at all. But
I hate that guy.
Oh man. But yeah, other influencers I could get Wooloo. I know I've heard some people talk to me about Wooloo. Yeah, I'd be down to do this with like other influencers and just post it and then just but debates. I liked this little debate we had, and I'm sure it'll happen more often. But I just wanted to have one because usually Alex is involved in that guy.
Can't
We got to
argue
have it just one-on-one. I don't think we've ever just one-on-one, especially in person, had to talk like this.
Yeah. I know.
Specifically
Arguing with Alex is like arguing with a wall, so
yeah.
I'm sure this is refreshing for you.
It was, yeah, we came to a, not an agreement, but like you said,
An
like,
understanding.
from an understanding. A 90 to a 10 is there was lots of spikes in the road. It got very smoothed out. There's
a few
there's
potholes.
bumps and potholes for sure about what you believe and what I believe differently, but it's what everything's going to be in this life. There's no getting away from that in life. You can never make everyone happy. I say that with my, videos. No one, it's also an argument. It's a plus and a minus. Not everyone's going to like the videos you post if you're trying to get into content. But at the same time, there's always going to be someone who likes what you post. There's always going to be that. And on your side, you can't make every customer happy, but there's always going to be someone you can make happy.
Yeah.
May not seem like it when they, pull out the switchblade on you, but hey. Nah, for real. Hey, this was a good convo. Shout out to the second channel, everyone that's been over here. This was a debate about full-time job versus full-time influencer. What really is the difference? I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts. Got anything else you want to say?
No.
No, not at all.
TikTok is Zane Otto. I'm Zane Otto.
Yeah, go check him out. He makes music videos every once in a while. Sometimes
go
goes
on,
live.
Go on live and play guitar if you guys
He plays
like that
guitar
kind of
if
thing.
you're interested in guitar. It is December 1st, 2025. About to be in the big 2-6. Whenever we're watching this, who knows what it'll be. But
2-6.
it's about to be the big 2-6. We're finishing off the year. This year's flown by. I don't want to start talking about the year because that could go for a whole nother hour. But I appreciate you guys, especially for coming over here and watching something like this. If you're watching at this moment,
comment.
Yeah, what's the word?
Comment.
There is no way someone is watching at this very moment.
Got to be something so random. It's comment.
Otto, the way it's spelled for you.
Yeah.
OTTO.
OTTO.
If you're watching this an hour and a half in, there's no way.
And just say Otto.
And just put a comment OTTO. Not Otto, but OTTO. Which is Otto. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I just love doing stuff like that. I appreciate y'all for the support. This was a pretty good debate. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the main channel or in another video on here. Who knows? Did you do peace too? That was pretty tough. That was pretty tough there.
That was pretty freaking tough there.
That was an hour, 27 minutes, 39.